integrity, excellence, people-centered. But what happens when integrity causes you to miss your quarterly reports? Or what happens when people first cause you to miss out on $1 million contract? Are your core values hard-coded or soft-coded? There's a silent killer in high-performance organizations, but it's not failure, it's mission drift. The bottom line may go up, but your identity capital may very well crash. Once your team sees that your values can be bought or are for sale, you will never be able to regain their trust. We define true impact, forget the quarterly check, from the mission statement to the corporate debt. You gotta lead with strategy, you gotta own your why. We're moving beyond the bottom line and reaching for the sky. We're moving beyond the bottom line with Dr. Lee. Welcome. If you're watching this, you probably have a set of core values around you somewhere. Perhaps they're in your corporate handbook or on your website, or they're a reminder as some visual that's lying around on your desk. They look great on a poster. A lot of times we see the words integrity and excellence and people-centered or people-first as values. But what happens when being people-first causes you to miss your quarterly reports? Or being integral, having integrity, causes you to miss out on $1 million contract? In the informatics world, we have a saying of hard-coded values versus soft-coded values. As their titles indicate, hard-coded values are those that cannot be changed no matter how the user tries. The soft-coded values, however, can be bent and manipulated. They can skew the vision sometimes. So, what are your core values? Are they hard-coded or are they soft-coded? But real values are constraints. They tell you what not to do even when the math is mathing. In today's episode, we're going to talk about one of the most dangerous things that can happen to a leader. The good opportunity that causes the leader to miss sight of the mission. Welcome to Beyond the Bottom Line with Dr. Lee. Let's go. There's a silent killer in high-performance organizations, but it's not failure, it's mission drift. Mission drift does not happen overnight. It usually occurs one decision at a time. In the business world, it may look like a business leader who puts out a buggy product that they know is buggy and is not up to par with the goal and the intention of increasing their profits. In the ministry or the community world, or nonprofit world, it may look like a leader accepting donations from a source that do not represent its core values or the leader's ethics, all for the sake of keeping the building project alive. We justify it. We make excuses for it. We say it's just business. We say that we need funds to fund the mission. However, every time a business leader makes this type of a decision, it rewrites the organization's DNA. At this point, we're introducing a virus into the genome of a business. The bottom line may go up, but your identity capital may very well crash. Once your team sees that your values can be bought or are for sale, you will never be able to regain their trust. Scarcity thinking. Why do we do this? Why do smart, ethical business leaders engage in scarcity thinking? When we feel that we won't make payroll, We feel like our competitors have the advantage over us, we enter into survival mode. And in survival mode, sometimes we feel that values are very costly, and sometimes that cost is an expense that we feel that we cannot afford. But in informatics, we know that sometimes constraints actually increase efficiency. And when making decisions, we have to refer to what I like to call as the decision algorithm. If you have to debate every single decision, you'll begin to suffer from decision fatigue. But our values are supposed to be the source code. So let's take this example for instance. If the source code is integrity, ask yourself, do we cheat the customer? If your value is integrity, the answer should be no. And so it's not a debate of whether or not you should make that decision. It should automatically populate the answer just as an algorithm does. In business terms, what is the return on investment of a deal that costs you your reputation? You may secure the bag, but you'll lose the mandate. In that instance, you lose the moral authority to lead. If you sell your soul for this quarter, you have nothing to trade for the next quarter. So how do we stop the drift? How do we ensure that our decisions align with our values? You need a values filter. Before you sign that contract, before you hire that person, before you launch that new program, run it through these 3 gates. The mirror test, or as I like to call it, the identity test. If we make this decision, will we look like the same organization? Or do we change? Do we become that business, that organization that made a decision to change just so that we can chase the money? If the answer is yes, then your answer should be no. The legacy test, or time. Will I be happy with this decision? In 5 years, will I still be proud of this decision? Or will I be trying to hide it? Sometimes short-term gain equals long-term shame. If it cannot survive the 5-year test, then your answer to the decision should be no. The cost test, or the people test. Who actually pays for this decision? In most cases, the leader usually takes credit when it's a profitable decision, when it's a favorable outcome. But the people, the workers, the subordinates, your team pays the taxes. And that tax is burnout. You have to evaluate, did this decision make us violate our principles, our value of being people-centered or people first? If a opportunity, a decision, cannot make it past the 3 gates, it's not an opportunity, it's a distraction. And distractions cause you to get off task. It causes you to lose sight of the vision. If a great opportunity cannot make it past the 3 gates, it is not an opportunity, it is a distraction. The power of you saying no is actually one of your greatest strategic advantages. Alright, we're heading into the nightcap. This topic, the ability to walk away from lucrative situations that compromise your values, is a difficult one. Some would even say it's the hardest part of leadership. It's the very topic that separates politicians from statesmen. And if you've understood anything about politics, you know that there is a difference. Just as much as there's a difference between a leader and a manager, But I want to tell you one of the hidden secrets about integrity or operating in integrity is sleep. You sleep better when you make integral decisions. You don't have to worry about having to spend something. You don't have to worry about navigating the gap between the truth and a lie, because you have told the truth and you've lived in your truth and you've operated in the truth. Think about the lyrics to our theme song. It says you've got to lead with strategy and you've got to own your why. Part of owning your why is having the ability to say no to the what. I'm Dr. Lee Riley, and this has been another episode of Beyond the Bottom Line with Dr. Lee. Let's get to it.